Welcome back to another episode of Home Sweet Home Cooking. I'm your host Rocky. My mother is shaking the camera trying to get behind it. We are in her kitchen again. Today is going to be a real quick and simple recipe. I did a pie crust recipe, so I've got one pie crust left over. We also took one out of the store-bought one, and we're going to try to make it work. We tried to thaw it out in the microwave, but it's cracking. This is a recipe called, and I hope I get this right, Pastie. It is a Yooper. Northern Michigan, Upper Peninsula of Michigan is where we see these commonly. It is a folded pie, kind of calzone-ish, but it's made with a standard pie crust. Real simple. You take a pie crust, unbaked. You're going to put in, you're only going to fill half, and I don't mean half of it full, I mean one half of the pan. So you're going to put in some potatoes, a little bit of carrot, some onion, and some stew meat, or sirloin or steak or whatever you want to dice up. Season it with some salt and pepper or whatever seasoning you want. And then this one has been in the fridge, so it's going to be a little bit difficult too, but you're just going to fold it over. I could probably put a little more in that one. So I'll do a few more potatoes. Oh, and one other ingredient. A few more onions.
Don't forget your butter.
The butter, you gotta put some pats of butter in there too. So I'm just putting the butter on top. That should be enough. And you're going to seal it. Yeah, I should not have put this one in the fridge as long as I did. It's going to make it a little hard to work with. Pepper. Alright, so that is your first half. Now the second half, we're going to try this again. And it's going to be murdered, because this one is all falling apart. But that's okay.
We don't care. It was an emergency thing.
Yeah, we decided we'll just make... It's kind of like a pot pie without the gravy, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's all going to come out. It's going to get baked. Same thing. Potatoes. Carrots. Onions. And I'm not giving you amounts. This is just however much looks good to you. Some meat. More taters, I think. A few more onions, why not? Salt. Ooh, that's a little much. Did you sweep before yet?
Not yet.
There you go.
Not till you go. You go.
Pepper. And butter. That's it, folks. It's that simple. These are something you see cooked a lot in, like I said, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. See these for sale alongside of roads. You buy, a 6-pack of them or a dozen of them, and they're great to take out ice fishing or the hunting camp, because once you seal them and they cook, as long as your dough is formed properly, they're going to stay together.
And somehow I think they're going to stick together. Those two, are they touching?
Yeah, it's even fine. Like I said, we're not taking them anywhere, and there's a big crack down there anyway, so it's not going to be sealed. I just want a few little slits across the top to let some steam out. And bake at 350 for approximately 1 hour until this gets golden brown. That's it. We'll show you what it looks like in, well, we're not going to eat this till a little bit later, but we'll show you what it looks like. We're going to let it go in the oven, get it golden brown, and we're going to let it cool down a little bit, and by the time my dad gets back and rested from dialysis, we'll be good to go. So we
can always heat it in there.
Yeah, she's crazy about a new air fryer. So we might even try that to reheat it, but that's it. It's a simple recipe, easy as that, and we'll be back in a moment. And we're back. The pasties have been in the oven for an hour. I just took them out. They're nice golden brown around the edges. I am thinking that's my homemade pie crust. And then that one is the rolled. I'm just guessing by the rustic edges. But I'm going to pull the camera back out of zoom a little bit and cut a piece. Alright, this is going to be rocket hot, so I'm going to be very careful I don't burn my little thingies. Now this is very similar to what some of you would call a meat pie. It's just meat, a little bit of veg. And you bake it with some pie crust. Pie crust kind of seals it in so it stays hot and kind of steams itself. Oh yeah, it's hot. Kind of like a pot pie without the gravy. That's going to be delicious. Now I'm pretty sure it's going to need salt and pepper because I like salt and pepper in my food. A little bit of meat, some carrot, some tater. Little chunk of pie. Easier said than done. Alrighty. Just like I remember when we were growing up in northern Wisconsin. I think that's as good as any pasty I've ever had. Better than a lot that I've had.
Yeah, some of them were bad.
Yeah. That homemade crust is fantastic on there.
Usually what they did, they'd serve like the whole thing as one serving.
Yeah, it'd be theirs wouldn't be as big as this usually.
Right.
You don't have to make them this big. You don't even have to put it in a pie tin. You can make them whatever size you want. Like if you want to do them the same size as a Little Debbie cherry pie or apple pie, you can make them that small for a single serving. Or you can make them family style. This would be your family style. If you made them single serving, they would stay together where they would actually be transportable, where you could take them with you and take them to work and throw it in the microwave and have it for your lunch at work. But that's it, quick and simple, very easy to do. You can use the store-bought crust. Make sure it thaws before you try doing it. Ours, we didn't let it thaw because the other pie was ready to go. So that was a little bit difficult. But or if you want to make your pie or your own crust at home, this is my mom's never fail pie crust recipe. Fantastic. I've always loved this. Very flaky. But either way you go, you need to try this. The meat, stew meat is generally not the most tender meat in the world. But being in there for an hour inside the crust, a little chewy depending on the piece you cut. You want to dice it down a little bit. But that's going to be for supper. We're going to kill off half of this before I even go home. I'm probably going to have another one, and I'll take home 2/3 because Wendy wants to try some, so my picky girlfriend would like to try a piece. So that's it. Give it a try. I hope you like the video. Give it a thumbs up and share it. And subscribe so you can see the next video. We're going to do a pot pie coming up sometime in the future. The traditional one where you got crust on the bottom, your meat, veggies, and gravy with a crust on top. Don't know when that's going to be, but I would definitely want to do one of those in the future. So.
And we can do one with the biscuits on top.
No.
You don't like those?
I'd rather have the full crust. I'd rather have your crust than biscuits any day.
Well, my crust is great. I mean, it is.
Alright, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you real soon in one of the next coming videos, which don't know what's going to be yet, but we're gonna put a bunch of them out because we're making a bunch of food this summer, so we're gonna do at least 1, if not 3 videos a week. But guaranteed there'll be a new video at least every Monday, and whatever I add throughout the rest of the week is gonna just be bonus. So I'll see you guys later.